ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा सच्चिदानंद अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. So, on Sunday morning India time, Saturday evening US time, we are now studying in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, other days we are in the 10th chapter now. And for anyone who is joining for the first time, then don't need to feel that they are in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, because I'm going to cover the slokas from all the slokas. Basically, I refer to the slokas from all the chapters. So it will be easy for everyone to understand this Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the meaning of Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is answering all the questions asked by Arjuna. Until Arjuna told Krishna that there are no more questions for him to ask. When Arjuna told, at the end, Arjuna told Krishna that all my doubts and confusion, everything is clear now. Nashto moha kathas sandeva. So, tvat prasadat maya achyuta. Now, karisye vachanam tav. I'm going to act as per your instructions. So that way, if we study like Arjuna, if we understand Bhagavad Gita like Arjuna did, that means all our doubts will be completely clear. We will not have any more questions or any more doubts if we understand all the questions asked by Arjuna and all the answers given by Krishna. So basically, this is like a Q&A session, question answer session, this Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna is asking question and Krishna is giving lecture. Krishna is giving the answer. So if you understand all these questions first and also understand all the answers first, then everything will be very clear. Normally, sometimes, many times when you are writing exams, if you don't even understand the question, sometimes it's very hard to even understand the question. Then we cannot even answer the question. So here, that way, we need to understand the questions asked by Arjuna. Then we will be able to understand also the answers given by Krishna. But the beauty of Bhagavad Gita is that everything, this language is very simple. The Sanskrit, what Krishna is using, Krishna is singing in Bhagavad Gita in very simple words. It's very easy to understand. And Krishna is also not confusing us with very difficult vocabulary. It's very straightforward and very easy to understand. And once we study and understand each and every sloka, everything will make sense. Everything is perfect. There is a continuous flow in it. In this Bhagavad Gita, there is a continuous flow. right from beginning to end, everything is, because this Bhagavad Gita is avyayam, it is always there, and nobody can change this Bhagavad Gita also. Nobody can modify this Bhagavad Gita also. So there are not like different versions. We cannot find Bhagavad Gita version 1, version 2, version 3, nothing like that. In this material world, there will be so many editions, so many versions, all such things. So edition means you are changing it, you are editing it. That's what editions. So any book, any textbook, anything, they always go through editions, revisions, and all such things. But Bhagavad Gita cannot be edited. It cannot be changed. Bhagavad Gita is the Sanatana Dharma, and it is Avyayam. It is the purest knowledge. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita, each and every sloka, whatever Krishna says, there is a continuous flow in it, and all the questions asked by Arjuna is also perfect questions. Because everything based on what Krishna says, Arjuna asks question. Everything. When Krishna says that Suti vipratipanna te yatastasyati nischala samadha vachala buddhi tata yogam avapsasi, then immediately Arjuna asks the question, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasa samadhistasya kesava sthitati kim prabhaseta kim masita vrajeta. Because Krishna said about the samadhi status, a person who is a sthita prajna, he achieves the samadhi status. So then immediately Arjuna is asking, what are the symptoms of a self-realized person, sthita prajna? So like that, every question Arjuna asked based on what Krishna is teaching, completely, each and every question. So that way, by Krishna's costless mercy, by Arjuna's mercy also, because Arjuna asked such nice questions, we have got this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, which is eternal knowledge, and which can be joyfully performed. It brings us so much happiness in our life. When we study Bhagavad Gita, everything makes sense in our life. Because in this material world, we are constantly bombarded we are constantly forced by the three modes of material nature, and we are struggling very hard in this material world. So that way, if we get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we understand this Bhagavad Gita, then we know how to solve all our problems. So how to solve all our problems? Our problems, what are our problems? First of all, we need to understand what are our problems. Our real problems are, we are stuck in this material body. That is our real problem. During this pandemic, it's very hard to sit inside all the time. So, for freedom, we don't have much freedom now. We can't even show our face now. We have to mask our face mask, all such things, and it's very hard. So, like that, for the soul, it's really very hard to, that is ourself, the soul, it's very hard to stay inside this body all the time, inside this material body all the time. Even if we are able to move around in this material world, we go from one place to another place, but wherever we go, we have to take this body with us. We cannot get out of this body. And if something happens to this body, we need to suffer. If somewhere it hurts in the body, we need to suffer. If the temperature rises a little bit, then if you get fever, then we need to suffer. Or even if the temperature goes down, if it is cold, then also we need to suffer. So, Shitoshna, Sukha Dukkha. That's why Krishna is very nicely explaining to us, this happiness and distress are like Shitoshna, like cold and heat. So that way, we are suffering in this material body, and we are stuck inside this material body. So we need to realize the fact that we are struggling, we are suffering. That is what called knowledge. The knowledge is to realize and understand that we are inside this material body, which we are going to lose, and which is changing all the time. When we are getting old, all the biological, biochemical processes which are happening in our body, that's also is also becoming very weak. So, like the perfect example is our metabolism. So our metabolism itself will change a lot. It will reduce a lot. We cannot digest food that easily, and we cannot convert that food also into energy that easily. That's what you call it as metabolism, what is known as catabolism, and also anabolism, all such things in our material body. So when we get older, a lot of things happens in our body. So, but the soul has to suffer and struggle for this birth, old age, disease, and death, which is continuously happening to this body, and this body keeps changing, and then we have to struggle. And at the end, when we get old, then we will be stuck inside. Then we'll go to deathbed. Then we cannot do anything. Then we have to leave this body. The problem is that we are again forced into another body. I'm explaining this fact very often in our class, but there is a fact. That's what we need to understand. We need to understand that we are stuck inside this material body. So the real knowledge is to understand, to realize that this is our real problem. So that's what is called real knowledge. So we need to solve this problem. This problem of birth, old age, disease, and death. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. On the top of all these things, in this material world, even when our body is perfect, when we have a very good health, but still we are all the time forced by the three modes of material nature. We are not free at all. We are in this material. We are not free at all. Nahi kasyati kshanamapi jatu tisthati akarmakrit. We cannot sit idle even for a single moment. The three modes of material nature are constantly forcing us to do all the activities. So that is our real problem we need to understand. We need to understand that our real problem in this material world is that we are struggling and suffering in this material body, and we need to find solution for this problem. So Krishna is saying that you just surrender unto me. I will solve all your problems. That's it, Krishna is saying. Nothing else. The solution for all these problems to get out of this material body is just surrendering unto Krishna. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yadantiye. So jara marana mokshaya, to get freedom, liberation from old age and death, just ashritya means take shelter unto me. So we need to take shelter unto Krishna. We need to surrender unto Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. Knowing that Vasudevam Sarvam Miti. So Vasudeva is everything, Krishna is everything. So with that knowledge, if we surrender unto Krishna, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we can solve these real problems. There is birth, old age, disease, and death. What that means, when we die, we will not be forced to accept another material body. That's what the meaning of getting liberation from this material world. Liberation from the three modes of material nature. So that means we won't be subjected to take another material body. But if we misuse this human life, if we abuse this opportunity, which we have got it, which is very rare, if we lose it, because the time is running out. So if we lose it, then when death comes, we will be forced to accept another material body. So that we want to prevent it. We want to stop it. So put an end to this cycle of repeated birth and death, birth, old age, disease, and death. So that's what Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Anudarsam. So that is possible only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it is not going to be possible. Because with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only, we will be able to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, it is not possible to understand or realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because in Bhagavad Gita only we understand about ourselves. We understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. And from Bhagavad Gita only we understand that Krishna is the Purushottama, he is the super soul. Krishna is the Paramatma. So that we understand only from Bhagavad Gita. So by fully understanding Bhagavad Gita, we have no more confusion. Otherwise, in this material world, as we studied in our previous class lecture a week ago, in the 3rd chapter, Krishna is saying that Prakrite kriyamanani gunehi karmani sarvasaga ahankara vimudatma kartakam iti manyate. So we will be, due to false ego, due to ahankara, so all the activities are carried out by Prakriti, by the 3 modes of material nature. But due to ahankara, due to false ego, we falsely think that we are the doer. So that's why ahankara vimudatma kartakam iti manyate. That's what Krishna is saying. So we studied, then Krishna is saying that Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayo gunaga guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. So if you understand very well that the 3 modes of material nature are constantly forcing us to do all the activities, so we are controlled by the 3 modes of material nature. So if you understand that tattva, that philosophy, that truth, so then we won't be attached to the material sense objects. That's what is very important. So that's what Krishna is teaching us very, very clearly. So then Krishna is also teaching us that Mayi Sarvani Karmani. So once we understand that we are forced by the 3 modes of material nature, we are not free. We are all the time under the control of the modes of nature. So then what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to surrender all such activities unto Krishna, because we are not free. In order to free ourselves from this forceful nature of the modes of nature, from this forceful material nature, so we need to simply surrender all our activities unto Krishna. Then only we will be able to get ourselves freed from this karma bandha. So Mayi Sarvani Karmani Sanyasadyatma Chetasa Nirasigi Nirmamo Bhutva Yudyasva Vigatajvaraga. So if Nirasigi means if you don't have any desires and if you don't claim for any proprietorship, so then we will not be forced by the 3 modes of material nature to act. We will be freed. So Nirasigi Nirmamo Bhutva Yudyasva Vigatajvaraga. So that's why Krishna is very clearly saying that the slokas, what we studied in the sloka number 31 and 32 in the 3rd chapter, Krishna is saying that Yeme matam nidam nityam anutistanti manavaga saddhavanto anasuyanto muchyante tepi karmavi. So anyone who follows my injunctions with faith and without envy, so they will be freed from all reactions to our actions. So muchyante tepi karmavi. But anyone who, out of enviousness, if they don't follow my instructions, then they will be lost. They will be bereft of all the knowledge. So, sarvajnana vimudatma viddinastan achetasana. So, they will not be able to get freedom from this material bondage. So, yetveta tabhyasuyanto nanutistanti me matam sarvajnana vimudatma viddinastan achetasana. So, that's what we finished in the last week in the sloka number 30. Now in the sloka number 33, Krishna is continuing in the 3rd chapter. In the 3rd chapter, sloka number 33, Krishna is continuing there. Sadirsam chestate swasyat prakriter jnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyasi. Sadirsam chestate swasya prakrite jnanavanapi. Even a person who has got the knowledge, who is endeavoring to control, a person who has got the knowledge, still he is under the forceful control of the material nature. Because he is acting according to his nature only. Because this nature, this Maya is very, very strong and very powerful. In the 2nd chapter itself, in one sloka we studied, in the sloka number 60, in the 2nd chapter, Krishna said that Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prashabam manaha. So yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha. Even a learned person who is endeavoring to control the senses are very strong and impetuous. They forcibly carry away the mind. So similarly here Krishna is saying that sadrisam chestate swasya prakrite jnanavan. So even a jnanavan, a person who is in knowledge, is acting according to his own nature. So prakriti yanti bhutani. So all living entities, so they undergo, so they follow only by the three modes of material nature. So everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. That's what prakriti yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishashi. So what can repression accomplish? So that way we need to understand that we are under the control of the modes of nature. There is no doubt about it. We are doing all the activities by the modes of nature. There is no doubt about it. But one thing we can do is that we can surrender all our activities unto Krishna. That modes of nature cannot influence us. That modes of nature cannot make us to decide. So that is our free will. Our free will, we can say that, okay, I am forced. I am forced by the modes of nature. We are controlled by the modes of nature. We are acting, we are doing all our activities because of the modes of nature. That's okay. But we can surrender all the results unto Krishna. We can do everything for Krishna. So then we will be freed by the modes of nature. Because these modes of nature are Krishna's nature, Krishna's divine nature. Devigi esa gunamai, mamamaya duratya. So in order to escape from such kind of forceful material nature, the three modes of material nature, we need to just work and just surrender all the results unto Krishna. So that's what Krishna is saying, that you do everything for me. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadyatma chetasa nirasigi nirmamo bhutva yudyasva vigatadvaraga. That's what Krishna is saying there. So in the next sloka, in the sloka number 34, Krishna is saying that Indriyasye indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavastitau tayornavasammagachet tauhyasya paripandinau. That's what Krishna is saying. Indriyasye indriyasyarthe. So indriyasye means the senses. Indriyasya means from the sense objects, raga and dvesa, that is attachment and aversion. So raga and dvesa, so in order to control our senses, there are principles, vyavastitau. So there are regulations. There are regulations are there which is described, so which we can follow to control our mind, so to control our senses. So all such things. But one thing Krishna is saying that we should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion. That is the main thing. That's raga and dvesa, because they are the stumbling blocks. So if we cannot follow that attachment and aversion, we should be equal in all respects. So that's what is very important. With the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only, when we surrender unto Krishna fully and when we do everything for Krishna, so at that time only we can free ourselves from that kind of attachment and aversion. So that's what Krishna is saying, that they are the stumbling blocks. Tauhyasya paripandinam. That's what Krishna is saying there. So we should not come under, one should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion. So there are regulations pertaining to attachment and aversion, that is to the senses and their objects. But we should not come under the control of such attachments. So all such things are possible only when we are attached to Krishna only. If you are simply attached to Krishna, then these things are not going to happen. If you just follow what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita and do everything as an offering unto Krishna, so then all these things are not going to happen. So that's why we need to just get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and just do everything what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, then everything is fine. So that way Krishna is saying that you just don't come under such kind of, they are stumbling blocks. That's what Krishna is saying there. So in the next sloka, Krishna is saying, that's why Krishna is saying all these things, because we need to understand that we are controlled by the three modes of material nature, and we need to know what mode of nature is acting on us. So based on the modes of nature, there are our work, what we are doing. Based on that, there are four kinds of classifications among human beings. So there is Chatur Varnas. In the third chapter, we studied Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam. In the third chapter, 13th sloka, Krishna taught very clearly, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam. Guna Karma Vibhagasa. Krishna said that based on the guna and karma, based on the guna karma. Guna and karma means guna karma. Based on the activities what we do due to our modes of nature. Based on that, there are four varnas. So based on that, there is, depending upon whatever varna we are, so that means there is a dharma for that varna. So that is based upon our swabhava. Based upon our swabhava, there is known as swadharma. So swabhava, swakarma, swadharma. So these three things we need to know. So that is based upon our gunas. Based on gunas, swabhava, swadharma, and swakarma. That's what Krishna also says in the 18th chapter. Also Krishna says it. Brahmana kshatriya visam sudranam cha parantapa karmani pravibhaktani swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. So swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. Swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. That swabhava is born from the three modes of material nature. So that's what swabhava. Everyone has got their swabhava based on what mode of nature is controlling us most of the time. So based on that, there is work for us. So that's what either Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Sudra. So that kind of classification will fit into one of these qualification based upon our whatever swabhava. That's why Brahmana, Kshatriya, Pisam, Sudranam cha Parantapa, Karmani Pravibhaktani. So the work is divided. The work is divided as Brahmana can do, or Kshatriya can do, Vaishya or Sudra can do, based upon Swabhava Prabhavair Gunayi. So here, based on that Swabhava, so we have our own Swakarma. So doing our Swakarma is known as Swadharma. So Swadharma means just doing our Swakarma based on our Swabhava. So that's why Krishna is teaching in this sloka. Seyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanustitat swadharme nidanam sreyaga paradharmo bhayavagaga. Seyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanustita. Sreyan means it's better. Even Krishna Arjuna asked many times, Sreyan, Sreyan, Yasyan, Nishchitam, Brugit, Tanme, Sreyan. So the Sreyan is, in fact, this sloka is also answer to Arjuna's question. You tell me what should I do, which is good for me. Sreyan, Yasyan, Nishchitam, Brugit, Tanme. Here Krishna is saying that Sreyan, it is good for you to do your Swadharma. Also, we studied in the second chapter, Krishna told Arjuna that Swadharmama pichaveksha navikampitum argasi dharmyadi yuddha shreyonyad kshatriyasya navidyate. So, Swadharmama pichaveksha navikampitum argasi. So, there is nothing else better than we're doing your Swadharma, because dharmyadi yuddha shreyo anyad kshatriyasya na vidyate. So for a kshatriya, being yourself a kshatriya based upon your swabhava, that is not based upon your birth, it is based upon your swabhava. Being a kshatriya, you have to do your duty, so that is to protect the righteousness. So that Krishna is saying that dharmyadi yuddha shreyo anyad kshatriyasya na vidyate. So just fighting to protect the righteousness, the dharma. So like that here Krishna is saying that Sreyan Swadharmo Vigunaga Paradharmat Swanustitan. So even if we not do it fully correctly, even if we do it faultily, it is okay to do our Swadharma rather than doing others' dharma. Doing the others' dharma means, for example, if we fit into a Brahmana, for example, then we should do our Brahmanical job. Or if we fit into a Sudra, we should do our Sudra job. We should not try to do others' job. So that's why Krishna is saying that Sreyan Swadharmo Vigunaga Paradharma Swanistitan Swadharme Nidanam Sreyagam. Swadharme Nidanam Sreyagam. So it is also okay if we do our Swadharma not that great, because Paradharmo Bhayavagaga. Because the Paradharma actually it is Bhayavagaga. Means it is dangerous. That's what Krishna is saying there. So destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. So that's why Swadharme Nidanam Sreyagam. So even if we don't do our own duty correctly, but we should still endeavor to only perform our duty instead of doing others' duty. So that means we need to know what like varna we belong to based on this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, based upon our swabhava, we should do. So In fact, this question really won't arise at all for us, because once we study this Bhagavad Gita fully and understand this Bhagavad Gita completely, and when we do all our activities only for Krishna, then this question won't arise. Because when we are doing anything for Krishna, so that means we don't even fit into any varna, because we are bhaktas, the devotees. That's what is very important. So in the sloka number 36, Arjuna is asking a question. We will study what that question Arjuna is asking, and then we will find out the answers next week. So in the next 8 slokas, Krishna will answer. So this is the sloka number 36. So I believe it has got 43 slokas. So starting from 37 to 43. So Krishna is going to answer all the questions basically. So in the sloka number 36, Arjuna is saying that Arjuna uvacha atakkena prayittoyam papam charati purushaka anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaka. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, atakkena prayittoyam. What is compelling one? So what is one impelled? So what is one impelled? So that means atakkena. Kena means by what? So by what one is impelling? Atakkena prayuktoyam papam charati purusa. To perform sinful activities. Papam. So what is impelling one to perform sinful activities? So that's what, by what is one impelled to sinful acts? So atakkena prayuktoyam papam charati purushagam anichanapi varshneya. Unwillingly. Even I know that it is sin, I don't want to do it, but I am doing it. So what is impelling me? What is forcing me? So as if by strong force, as if baladiva niyojitaga, as if engaged by force. Balad means baladiva. Balad means by force. So by what one is impelled to sinful acts unwillingly, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. So it's a very important question. Because we ourselves experience in our life every day. We know that it is a sin and we don't want to do that, but we will do it as if something is forcing us to do. So we know it. So it's a very important question. So everyone is forced to act. That's what today we are studying all the time. Everyone is forced to act. Already Krishna answered in this question. Already in the 3rd chapter itself, Krishna told Arjuna that not even a single moment one can refrain from doing something, because everyone is forced to act helplessly by the 3 modes of material nature. But here Arjuna is asking so that Krishna can give answers in more detail. So that's why here, by what one is impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. Atakkena prayuktoyam papam charati purushagam anichanapi varshneya baladiva niyojita. So now Krishna is going to give us more technical answers. Very important question. Very, very important question. We are all experiencing in our life. Every one of us is forced to act by the 3 modes of material nature. But here we know, but we need to know in detail about that. So that's why Arjuna is asking this question again, but so that he can get even more answers from Krishna. So by what one is impelled to sinful acts as if engaged by force. So let's wait for this to study for next week. Hare Krishna. We'll stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.